So yeah, I won. I won my category for the RØDE Creator of the Year Awards 2024. And in this video, I just want to kind of talk about, first of all, how that happened, what I won, and what I'm doing with that now. So if you're interested, stick around and I'll tell you the story.
We about to change the game. We out here taking names. Let our voices rise. Let them reach the skies. We about to change the game. We out here taking names. Let our voices rise. Let them reach the skies.
I got this letter in the box when I won. It says, "To Justin, one who drinks coffee team, congratulations on winning the ASMR category award. Keep on creating, from RØDE." And yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, I'm just going to be completely open and honest with you guys. I am still like processing the fact that I won this thing and like really blown away and mind blown. I don't have a super huge channel here. My Instagram account, which is really what I won for, was the ASMR like coffee content that I do on that account. I only have like a couple thousand followers on Instagram for that account. So like, it's really blowing my mind that I won the category for that. And yeah, so I'll tell you the story, just starting at the beginning. I think it was sometime late summer in 2024 when RØDE like sent out the kind of like announcement that they were doing the 2024 Creator of the Year Awards. So I clicked it and was interested, just kind of scrolling through, seeing what it was really. While I was looking at this contest, I was like, this is like, there's no chance, but there's definitely not a chance if I don't, sign up and submit it. So I just like signed up. I, put my Instagram account in there, and I was looking at like what is going to be like the category that my Instagram account fits into best. And my original thought was like, something like drink, beverage, food, coffee focused, but like there's not a category for coffee. But anyway, the like that wasn't an option. And like one of the things that I do on my Instagram account is in the reels, like the kind of like ASMR soundscape. So I was like, well, that like fits, like I fit into that category. I'm definitely not what people think of first when they think about ASMR. Like typically you're thinking of like, softly talking into a microphone like this. And that's not my thing. That isn't what I do. But like there's also a lot of, different stuff within the ASMR just world of creators as well. So I was like, okay, that's probably the category that I fit into best as far as what's available in this competition. So I signed up for that, submitted my stuff. Again, that was like sometime in, I think, late summer of 2024, submitted it, and then completely forgot. Not forgot, but it was not anywhere in my mind. I didn't really give it a second thought at all after that for months and months and months. I mean, this was like in November. I think we had just traveled out of town for a conference for my wife's work, and I went along with her, but then like came home early. And when I got home, I was just, like relaxing, kind of like unwinding from travel, and was on my phone, and then saw that I had an Instagram DM from RØDE. Like, okay, like I didn't tag them in anything to like get, reshared in their story or anything like that. Like, I don't know what's going on here. And so I opened up my phone, Instagram DMs, and they had said like, hey, we sent an email to you, but we just got the message that the email came back as undeliverable. Can you give us an alternate email or a working email that you're using now that we can send some info to, and then keep an eye out for some pretty exciting information? I'm like, okay, sure. Here's my email. Like, what's going on? So they send that, and then I see the email, and it's like, hey, you've been selected as a finalist for the ASMR category for the 2024 RØDE Creator of the Year Awards. And like, I still like, just, that's completely mind boggling. But even at that moment, like I didn't really know what that meant. I was like, oh, that's super exciting. And then with that, they were like, hey, send us your address. We have a couple of things to send out to you, just as congratulations to making it as a finalist. So like, that's really cool. So they sent like this beanie and like a t-shirt, a pin, sticker, that kind of thing, and then just like a congratulations. And so that's awesome, man. Like I don't know that I've even taken this beanie off since I've gotten it, because I've just been like super excited about it. Yeah, so that was early November, right at the beginning of November. And I think because they had probably sent out the email earlier and then it didn't get delivered to me. And so like I was probably a little bit behind on actually getting the information that this was happening. And so like very shortly after that is when and I think that was like maybe the second week of November. I think it was like literally I got that email eventually on the Sunday, and like the Tuesday of that following week was when they actually like published the website with the finalist for the Creator of the Year awards. So it was like literally only a few days later. And so then like I get the email that it's been published. I open the page up and look at the category, just, my page and see what's going on. And that's when I find out that I was one of 5 finalists for the category, which is, again, like this whole experience just absolutely, completely mind-boggling. Like I still can't believe that is the case, that it is, that this has happened. And then there's like several weeks, it goes through most of the month of November, where the like voting was open for like the People's Choice Awards for each category. So obviously I'm like sharing that on, social media and stuff, and getting like really excited about telling everybody I could possibly find to listen to me about like, hey, I'm a finalist, go vote for me. Then the voting ends like the last week of November, I think. And the first week of December 5th, is when they're announcing the winners. And it was, they're Australian-based company, so they do it like obviously based on Australia, like their time zone there. So that put it like being the evening of the night before I was thinking was going to be announced, where they actually announced it. I kind of just also didn't want to think like, oh, maybe they'll do it in that time zone, because I didn't want to be like stressing, like overexcited and not be able to sleep the night of before the results came out. But so it's a live video live premiere video that they posted on YouTube with the results and everything. And ASMR was the second category. I think the first category was adventure. The second category is ASMR. So like really early in the video, it's like ASMR category winner. And then I see my face and my videos, and I'm like, they're like, this is crazy. Like this cannot be reality. And then I like start getting like a couple texts, and like one of my friends calls and is like, hey, like, whoa, congratulations. Like this is insane. And so I was like, this is actually happening. What's going on? And like it honestly, it's still like sinking in that this is reality. But like in that moment, it was so surreal. Like it was, I don't know, like it was like my senses were just not working. I didn't know what was going on. It was just absolutely mind blowing. Yeah. And I'm super grateful and thankful to RØDE for like hosting this competition, to all of you guys here on YouTube and Instagram, and everybody that has just like supported me and just like checked out my content, to be able to get to this place, to even have the chance to enter, something like this Creator of the Year awards. And just, again, so thankful and mind blown to like not only make it into the awards and as a finalist, but to have won the category. It's like, it's so mind blowing. And again, like, thank you to all of you for just being here, being along for the ride, and like checking out my content. It means a ton, and I just love being able to do this. So let's get to the exciting part now, which is probably why you clicked on the video and see everything that I won from this contest. Yeah, so this is all the gear and stuff that I won. Honestly, this isn't even all of it. This is just what I was able to fit into the shot. But I'm going to go through all of the stuff that I won and tell you what it is and what I plan to do with a lot of it. And yeah, I mean, it's super exciting because it's a lot of really cool stuff. All right, so first thing that we'll start with that I won, PodMic USB, which is what I have been using to record the audio for this video. And this is kind of a test for this mic as well to see how I like it, if I like it, how it sounds, that kind of thing. Typically, I'm not a huge fan of, for my YouTube videos, having the mic in frame in the shot, but I have this now and it is a really cool mic. Obviously, like, thought behind this mic is for something like a podcast, but I'm going to test it out since I have it and see, and I thought this would be a good video to use as a testing ground for that, to see, does it actually bother me having the mic in the shot, and what does it sound like, and is it going to actually sound better than what I've been using, a pencil condenser mic, moving it in from outside the frame, and just see, and like, everybody's voice is different. So I have to get a feel for how this mic sounds with my voice, this setup versus what I'm usually used to. So we'll see. But PodMic USB, which I really love, and certainly for like voiceovers, talking heads, even, maybe things like live streams. I've been thinking about doing live streams on this channel, and the best way to like integrate that, I think this would be a cool option to use for something like that already. So it's going to be a really useful and versatile mic to have, but I'm not sure yet. This is, again, testing, not sure yet if this is going to be the mic that I use for like main videos on this channel here. And then the DS2, that's what's holding the mic up right now. This is a desktop kind of boom arm stand, something that doesn't take up a ton of space. As it says, sits on your desk, takes up a lot less space, still gives you a decent amount of freedom and flexibility to position it where you need to be, and be able to have it right in frame and also at the correct angle that you want for that speaker's voice or whatever it is that you're using it for. Next up is the RØDE NTH100 headphones. And these are really nice headphones. They're wired headphones, something that you would use for like studio use. It's not like a Bluetooth type of headphones that you would use for working out, but super useful for editing, which is what I have been using them for since I got them. Again, podcasting, a lot of RØDE stuff have been aimed at making a good podcast workflow. So these headphones are definitely great for that kind of usage, but also for me, main use case is definitely going to be editing, and it's really nice to have a wired set of headphones that sound really nice. They're also really comfortable. Like, I've spent already like several hours at a time editing with these headphones, and it's really comfortable. It's a big deal when you can leave headphones on for a long time and it doesn't like start to hurt your ears or even like be uncomfortable in your head. Having a headache while you're staring at a screen and editing is not fun. So I have really enjoyed having these headphones so far. So the next thing, and I'll say the next two things really. Well, first of all, this external USB-C monitor. It's a touchscreen 15-inch monitor, and it's a magnetic stand for the monitor. Now, I don't think the monitor has any way to mount it other than magnetically, so it makes the stand very necessary for it. But it works perfectly with it, because one of the things about this monitor, and I actually have this monitor sitting right here behind me. I've been using it as a second screen for my MacBook Pro, my main editing computer and computer that I just do everything on, really. And the awesome thing about this monitor is that, especially in conjunction with that magnetic stand, you can flip it from horizontal to vertical on a dime, like whenever you need to. It recognizes what orientation it's in. It auto rotates. And so that makes things like going back and forth between editing photos that are shot vertically versus horizontally really easily. And then also going back and forth between editing horizontal video for like YouTube or something, and then vertical video for like Instagram, that kind of thing on social media. It's a really great workflow. I've never had a second monitor that I've used in like my editing workflow. And if you do have a second monitor, you know that makes the workflow so much nicer, and just being able to have like video full screen on one monitor and then all your controls on a separate display. Yeah, I'm absolutely loving that. I'm loving the fact that it's designed to be like a very portable external monitor, so that you could even like travel with it. I don't think I will travel that much with it. Like at this point, when I'm traveling and like taking stuff with me, I tend to want to be as light as possible. So anything that I can get away with not having, I try to get away with not having it. And so for me, it's probably not something that I will travel with all that much. Not to say that I won't ever, but like this thing would fit in most camera bag laptop sleeves. That's really easy to take with you. And then the stand folds down into, I mean, you saw the box, like it's very small. Like you could easily put that into a camera bag in the laptop sleeve and have that external monitor with you. And having the ability to have that as an option is really cool. But also for me, it's mainly just going to be for my home editing setup and having the ability to go vertical and horizontal really, really easily because, again, it's just magnetic. So you just turn it one way or the other and it's ready to go. All right, the next thing, we got some more Rode products here, and that is the Rode Wireless Pro. I have thought about getting these for myself before, but never pulled the trigger on them. I had a system before this already that is a similar kind of wireless mic. It worked fine. I didn't really have any issues. So I just didn't pull the trigger on spending more money to get the Rode Wireless Pro, even though it felt like that there was definitely some workflow and just quality upgrades there. I'm really, really appreciative for having gotten this because there are definitely some huge upgrades with the Wireless Pro. And first is just that I think they sound really good. And again, like mics, how they sound is going to be different from person to person and voice to voice and environment to environment. The times that I'm using a wireless, mic to camera is going to typically be like vlogging style situations where I'm like holding the camera and just have the wireless mic attached to my shirt, just like right on the collar. And it's not something I do all the time, but then it's in a situation where environment noise is not something I'm able to control really because it's just like being out and about. And I really like the way that my voice sounds on these Rode Wireless Pro mics. Now, again, that's going to be different from person to person, voice to voice, but I like it and I like it for my voice. And I like it more than what I was using before, like noticeably. It's not a surprise to anyone who's ever looked at the Wireless Pro, but they can record internally to the transmitters a 32-bit float wave file. And if you know anything about audio, or you know how great that is, if you don't know what that means, it just means it records a file that has a lot more flexibility. If someone talks really loud, it's not going to clip because of being in that 32-bit float. And then even if someone talks much quieter or gain level wasn't set where you probably needed it to be, you can boost that volume up without getting a bunch of extra just noise and distortion. So especially for dialogue type of situations, which is certainly what I will be using these Wireless Pro for, and really what they were thought for and designed for. You're not really going to run into a situation where you've either clipped your audio from being too loud or lost the quality in the audio from being too quiet because of that 32-bit float. And that is a really, really, really useful thing, especially to have in just little wireless mics that you can, throw in your bag and clip on, a DSLR or mirrorless camera or something. That's really powerful to have. But one thing that I didn't know, and you if you've looked into these mics, you probably did know, but they have built-in time code that you can use with them. And time code's not something that I use very often in my workflow, but having the ability to have those in the Rode Wireless Pro is just a really cool little bonus feature, and not even a little bonus feature. That's a really cool feature that comes in the Rode Wireless Pro that I wasn't even aware of until I got them and started, looking at the features and what they can do. They come in a case that each of the two transmitters and the one receiver hook into a USB-C slot in the case. There's a USB-C slot on the outside of the case. When the transmitters and the receiver are in the case, they can charge from the case's battery, which is great. And you can plug in that USB-C to the case to charge the case itself. But also, you can plug that USB-C cable into just the case while the transmitters and receiver are in there, and then hook the case up to your computer. And through that USB-C connection, you'll be able to see all the recordings on all the receivers and everything from the whole Wireless Pro system. So you don't have to, you can plug them in individually to transfer files or hook them to like the Rode Connect or the Rode Central apps, but you don't have to. You can just plug in the case and have them in the case. And like, again, we're talking about workflow that makes things really, really easy. And so for me, like I will record audio into the camera through like the receiver as I'm recording the video, but also have the transmitter itself recording that 32-bit float, and then transfer those 32-bit float files through the USB-C while they're in the case, transfer that, and then sync those up in post. And I really like the quality of audio that I'm getting from those 32-bit float files. And that way you also don't have to worry about when the signal could potentially get dropped from being too far away from the camera, or just being in an environment with like a lot of saturation of, wireless products on that. It is a 2.4 gigahertz wireless product. So if you're in big cities and stuff, you can get saturated and drop signal because of that as well. But you don't have to worry about that as long as you make sure to be recording that 32-bit float file internally. You can just sync those up and use the file that was recorded internally to the transmitter. So yeah, obviously I'm excited about the Wireless Pro. I've used them a few times, and so far I've been really happy with how they sound and how they work and just the functionality of them. So along with the Rode Wireless Pro, because the Wireless Pro comes with 2 transmitters, I also was sent these 2 handheld adapter transmitters. They just clip in, and then you put the windscreen on top of them, and it turns into basically like what you would see from like reporters, game show hosts or something like that, where you can have like a handheld mic that you can get, up into closer proximity. Yeah, just really cool, super flexible. Something that I probably would not have bought for myself, but now that I have it, I'm like trying to think of ways to like cool ways to actually use them and utilize them. So I think they're super fun. They're not super expensive either. So like if it is something that you would be interested in, like it's not a super expensive thing to have to buy, but it's just not something I would have ever thought of like, hey, I need to get these. But again, I have them now. And so I'm excited to like think of cool ways to be able to use them. So another thing that Rode sent was the like big metal like Rode logo and the plaque for the Creator of the Year awards that said, one who drinks coffee, ASMR category winner, which was, I mean, that's just really cool. I don't think you can see it from this angle, but it is sitting on my desk behind me right here. Again, I'm just super blown away, super, super proud, super like thankful for this. And yeah, that's a just really cool reminder. Like, okay, keep on creating, like at least somebody's taking notice of it. Again, just really thankful. I don't know. I can't put all of this into words right now, but I'm trying. And then the last prize, Brevity Jumper camera bag. It's a pretty small bag. It has like space for camera stuff down here and then like storage space up top. I really like that because I've been trying to not take every single piece of camera gear with me every time that I walk out of the house with a camera bag. And this is perfect for that because it kind of forces me to not, I can't take all of, my camera gear. I can't take that much stuff with me. I can get one mirrorless body in there and an extra lens, maybe a second mirrorless body, but probably not with a lens on it. And then, maybe like my Rode Wireless Go now and some chargers and a couple of things like that. Obviously there's the top space, which then allows me to, actually put things that you would need to have in a backpack, whether that's just like snacks or, like whatever things I need to throw into a backpack, headphones, whatever. It also has the laptop sleeve so I can take my MacBook Pro with me to be able to edit or, whatever I want to do on the road or while I'm traveling, that kind of thing. But it makes me get into a headspace where I'm taking what I need and not just carrying a bunch of extra weight on my back just to feel comfortable because I have it with me. And so that's been nice for me, I think probably a lot of us go through phases where like we are taking way too much stuff, and then maybe we go to the opposite spectrum and then like are barely taking anything, and then like, you know, kind of swing back and forth on the pendulum, like how much stuff should I be taking with me. But right now I am definitely enjoying taking less stuff out with me when I go. Obviously, like on specific client projects, there's going to be specific things that I have to have with me, and then I would not really tend to use this bag for like going to client projects, but for traveling, definitely for like everyday stuff, it's great. I absolutely love it. I think it looks cool, and it doesn't scream camera bag, which the rest of my camera bags definitely do. So it's a little more discreet. Just looks like kind of a normal backpack, but can still keep my stuff safe. I can take enough stuff with me to do what I need to do. And yeah, I've really enjoyed that. And then there was also, you know, definitely a cash prize that came with this win, which was, again, like the whole thing, just a mind-blowing experience that I'm super grateful for. And what that allowed me to do is to upgrade my editing computer. I was, for the past going on 6 years, since 2019, editing on a 2019 MacBook Pro. So this was before any of the like Apple Silicon chips came out. So like before, the year before actually the M1 MacBook Pro or MacBooks at all were announced. And even at the time, it was like the absolute entry level model. Even at the time, it was probably definitely less than I needed, but it was what I could get my hands on at the time. And so I made it work, and I have been making it work for the past 6 years. And just because like that, you know, was what I knew, that was what I used. Export times took forever, and like rendering stuff took forever. Was never, ever, ever able to edit anything, like not even 1080 at full res, but just got used to that and the limitations with that. And like that was my workflow for a long time and made it work. So I was able to upgrade to this M4 Pro MacBook Pro and upgraded the RAM and stuff as well. And workflow wise, and I would say like that's been a really cool thing about what I've been able to get from winning the category for the Creator of the Year Awards is like a huge upgrade in my workflow specifically. And the MacBook Pro is definitely at the heart of that. I mean, talking about cutting exports down to like a percent of a fraction of a percent of what they were before, like literally night and day. Little quick exports for like super short social media videos that would have taken probably, you know, 10 to 15 minutes, possibly more, to export on my old MacBook, literally take a matter of seconds. I mean like 5 seconds or less on this MacBook Pro, which is absolutely mind-blowing. I do think that I'm going to probably do a video of like my thoughts on the M4 Pro MacBook Pro for creators, videographers, photographers, and what that looks like in a workflow. But I am loving this machine and super thankful to have been able to get it. Yeah, so that was my story. I probably talked for a long time. This is probably longer than I expected this video to have been when I started, but I hope you enjoyed a little bit about the story. Again, I just want to say thank you to RØDE, to everyone who's ever checked out any of my content, ever liked any of it, ever, you know, subscribed to the channel or followed me on Instagram or anywhere else. Just thank you guys. I'm so appreciative for the ability to be able to make content and put it online, and the fact that like anybody ever watches any of it, like it's pretty mind-blowing. So thank you, and hopefully I'll see you next time.
We about to change the game. We out here taking